Hey, this is Elizabeth with Mad for Macrame. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make the magic ring and a few tips and tricks that will be helpful when you're making coasters, placemats, or even basket bottoms. For supplies, I always use a 9 and a 7mm crochet hook, scissors, a tapestry needle, and for this project, I'm going to use Bob Binny's 5mm braided cord. That seems to be what we all struggle with making these placemats or coasters. Remember, when you're using this cord, you want to start with the side that has the knot, and it's on the bottom. On one of the sides, you'll see this little knot, and that's where you want to start pulling from. I'm going to show you two different ways to start the magic ring. This first way, we don't need to worry about making our tail too long. We're going to close each round with the invisible join. So just leave it about 4 or 5 inches long, and you always want your tail facing down in your hand. I like to pinch the cord with my thumb just to hold it in place. Now, wrapping away from you your working cord, wrap it around 3 fingers. Flip your hand over, and you want to continue wrapping, but on the back side of your hand, you want to make an X. I like to use my pinky to hold that cord in place. I find that using a 7 or 8mm crochet hook is a little bit too small and makes the ring too tight, so I suggest using a 9 or even a 10mm for this first round. Now take your crochet hook and go underneath that first piece of cord. You want to grab the second one and pull it underneath. Twist your hook away from you. That will create a loop, and keep that loop on your hook. We need to chain 1 to lock this in place. There's a couple different ways to do it. I'm going to show you this method. Instead of chaining 1 right now, you can pinch with your right hand below that loop, grab your working cord, then chain 1. So take the cord and go over the top of your hook, turn your hook down, and pull that loop through the one that's on your hook. This chain locks the magic ring in place. Now you can let go and untangle your tail. I like to take the tail and the ring and hold it with my left hand. We're actually going to stitch around the ring and this tail, so pull it to the left side. We need to make 6 single crochet inside this magic ring. To make a single crochet, you want to insert your hook in the ring, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. Make sure you turn your hook down before you pull through. And that's our first single crochet. Again, we want to insert our hook inside the magic ring, yarn over, so make sure your cord is on top of your hook, pull up a loop. Now we have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, turn your hook down, and pull through both. There's 2. As you work, you can pull on your tail to tighten the ring and also keep it untangled as you're stitching. That will make it easier at the end to tighten down the center. Again, just keeping those stitches nice and tight, untangling that tail. Now we have 6. I'm going to pull on my tail to tighten this ring down. That's what actually makes that circle in the center close. I like to pull on my tail just a little, not all the way, And before I close it up completely, I want to make sure that I have the correct amount of stitches. And on the side, these V's, we want to have 6 of those. Okay, I have 6 stitches. Now I'm going to use the tail to tighten the center all the way down. Be careful not to break your tail. Sometimes it happens. It's one of those things that practice makes perfect. I just say it's a learning curve. We need to close this ring up and get ready for round 2. For this method, I'm going to use the invisible join. The invisible join is where we use that loop and we pull it through that front stitch, but everyone has a hard time finding where to insert their hook to begin round 2. You see how each one of these stitches has a little top loop and then cord sticking out of the bottom. So we have this top loop and then 2 pieces of cord coming out of it on the back side. You want your hook to go between those 2 pieces of cord on this very first stitch. And this first stitch is always really tight. So my suggestion is to make sure you find where you're going to insert your hook, and you can take your hook or a tapestry needle and kind of stick it through the center from the back side and wiggle it around. That will just loosen that stitch up a little, and it will help when you actually insert your hook and pull up a loop through it. Back to the front side. To start the invisible join, we're going to pull our loop out, making it a little bigger. Then remove our crochet hook. Those top V's we counted before, this first one, you want to insert your hook from the back side, from back to front, and then you're going to pull that loop through, front to back. You want to make sure it's not too tight. And underneath this loop, this is where we're going to insert our hook, right between those 2 pieces of cord on that first stitch. So one more time, we're going to insert our hook from the front side and we're going to wiggle it right here between that first stitch. For round 2, I like to go down a hook size. You can actually use a 6, whatever you're comfortable with. Insert your hook underneath that loop we pulled through, and then wiggle your hook through the center of that first stitch. There we go. See how we have that top loop and then those 2 pieces of cord, and our hook is in the center. So you know it's in the right place if you check the back. Now yarn over and pull up a loop. Stretch that loop up, making it a little bit bigger. Add the second loop on your hook. Yarn over and pull through both. Now you're ready for round 2. I'm going to show you an alternate method that you can use. This way we're going to close each round by using our starting tail. To begin, the hardest part is knowing how long to leave your tail. I like to leave the tail about 4 inches long per round that you're going to use it. So for instance, on these coasters here, I made 4 complete rounds. So the center, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to leave my tail about 4 inches per round. So here's round 1, round 2, 3, and 4. You want to have a little extra just in case you really don't want to run out of cord on this project. It's really hard to add the tail back in. Just like before, you want to make sure that your tail is facing down or facing towards you, and you're going to wrap the cord away from you. So hold that cord in your hand, pinching it in place with your thumb, and wrap away from you around those 3 fingers. Then flip your hand over, and when you continue wrapping, you want to make an X on the opposite side. Use that pinky to secure that cord in place. Now again, I'm going to start with my 9mm crochet hook, and you want to insert your hook underneath that first piece of cord, grab the second, and pull it underneath, then give it a twist. Now instead of pinching like we did before, we're just going to go ahead and chain 1. I like to do this by wiggling that piece of cord that we're holding with our pinky up on my hook and then pull that loop through. Now you can let go and untangle your tail. Grab your working cord, and I like to hold my working cord just between my middle and my pointer finger, bringing that cord over the top of my pointer finger. I kind of pinch it with my ring and pinky. Now we need to make 6 single crochet inside the magic ring, just like before. So we're going to hold the tail and the ring and pull it to the left, insert our hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both, just like before. Keep an eye on your tail and make sure it doesn't get twisted, and you can always tighten back on that tail, making your ring a little bit smaller and more manageable to hold. Now that we have our 6 stitches finished, we should have 6 V's that run on the outside of this. We can tighten up our center using our tail. And I like to take my time doing this, kind of making sure I don't pull too tight. Now to close the round, we actually need to finish this last stitch by using our starting tail. To do that, we need to remove our crochet hook, grab your working cord, and pull back on it, releasing that last stitch. Now insert your crochet hook back in these 2 loops here, and we're going to yarn over with the tail. So make sure you grab the tail, yarn over, and pull through both of those loops. Now pull that piece all the way through. To finish, we need to make a fake stitch or an invisible closure. On those outside V's, you want to use the tail to make that fake stitch. So insert your hook underneath that first top V from the back side. We want to pull that tail through from front to back. To finish that V, you want the tail to go through the last stitch on the round. So it needs to go through the center of that last stitch right here. So flip it over, and you want to insert your hook underneath this little back loop, bringing it through the center of that V. Now pull your tail through. Using this method will make your piece seamless, not only on the front side, but on the front and the back. You may have to make a few adjustments, and you're ready for round 2. To begin round 2, you want to find the space where that tail is sticking out of the back side. So it's underneath this little loop here. Insert your hook And I think I'm going to switch to my 7mm. I like to use the smaller hook on round 2. When you insert your hook, make sure it's in that space where the tail is sticking out of the back side. Yarn over, pull up a loop, and then chain 1. Now you're ready to move on and finish round 2. I do have a full tutorial on how to make these coasters, and I'll link it up above for you. Here are a few tips and tricks I've learned along the way that I hope you find helpful. After finishing this round, I realized I'm missing a stitch. My count is off. So it looks like here I have my chain, and then I have an increase, then I start my singles, and I was supposed to add an increase 1 stitch back. So I have an extra single in here. Well, instead of starting all over, I'm just going to keep going. You can always remove a stitch or add one, so you can add an extra stitch or remove one of those increases if you need to. I'm just going to remove one of these stitches, close with my tail, and continue on. No need to start over. This will turn out just fine. Don't be too hard on yourself. See? It's still a nice circle. Another thing that I've noticed is the shape. A lot of times these coasters are mostly on placemats. They don't lay flat. You can take a towel, lay it on top, use an iron on a low heat setting, and iron your placemat flat using 5mm braided cord. And lastly, one of the biggest issues we have is this center circle. Sometimes it likes to open back up, especially when you're using this tail method. I found a way that we can fix that though. So when you're finished and you begin to weave in the ends, grab your tapestry needle. Go ahead and weave in your tails. If you have one that's long enough, you can use it, or you can add in a new piece of cord. But we want to get one of those tails down towards the center circle, or that new piece of cord. One of my tails was pretty long, so I'm just weaving it down underneath several stitches back and forth until I get down to this center piece. And where your circle is, you'll notice that the stitches coming out of it that make it that kind of star shape. You want to weave the cord underneath these stitches, pulling it closer and closer to the center. So work around the circle in the same direction, weaving the cord. So you go under the cord, pull it through, and then pull that towards the center. You may have to do this 2 or 3 times, or you may just need to go under a couple stitches to close up that center circle. I think one more, and this should be good. That feels nice and secure. I'm going to go ahead and clip my excess, and see, it's closed up. I hope you found this video helpful and can use some of the tips and tricks on your future projects. Don't get discouraged. The magic ring can be really tricky using 5mm braided cord or even 9mm braided cord. So if you have any questions or need any help, feel free to let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.